The self, according to sociology, is generally consistent collection of views about who we are in relation to ourselves, others, and social institution, in the sense that is molded through interaction with the other people. The self is socially created. Individuals are not passive participation in this process as they are socialization in general, and they have a significant effect on how this process and its outcomes evolve. George Herbert Mead's theory. In this theory, Mead explained that to be able to have the full development of social identity, one of most unit his or her I and me. The I is the representation of oneself that is unique and active. It is also subjective and the response of an individual's to the me. The me represents the expectation or demands of others. Man sometimes acquires an attitude through the demands of the people around them. For example, your personality as an extrovert toward other people, your jolly side that you only show when you with your friends, the fact that you befriend everyone, and so on. That is the one of a kind aspect of you are the I, while the me refers to your parents' desire for you to brim and proper or to achieve high grades, which you adopt even while in school. It's possible that social interaction are the cause of a particular personality. People either adopt it or are forced to.
Jean Baudrillard's theory. He explained that self may be a never-ending search. It's also stated that in a postmodern society we develop or get or identified through the privileges or prestige. The individuals are influenced by the mass media that may acquire goods for social status than for the value and utility. He stated that in this generation, we can never be satisfied unless we have the upper hand in everything. For example, the people that participated in certain election just to have an access in everything enroll the community and just to have money that should be for the community. Jerry Lanuza's theory. He said that technologies are rising, information are gathered faster, and communication may be done if you're far from each other. It's also stated that you can choose to identify freely and no longer be restricted by the custom and tradition. But because of being free, some may tend to detach themselves to others because of incompatibility and the right.
Good day. Today I'm going to discuss with you my topic about individual self. Let me start by defining the individual self. Individual self comprises unique attributes. The relational self comprises partner shared attributes, and the collective self comprises group shared attributes. All selves are fundamental components of the self-concept, with each being important and meaningful to human experience and with each being associated with health benefits. Today, I will discuss with you the concept of individual self. The individual self is achieved by differentiating from others. Example, the individual self contains those aspects of the self-concept that differentiate the person from other person as a unique constellation of traits and characteristics of distinguishes the individual within his or her social context. And now, I will give you 9 characteristics of individual self so that we can be able to understand more the concept of individual self. 9 characteristics of individual self. Number 1, characterization of individual self is having frequent peak experience, which means feeling of limitless horizons opening up to the vision. The feeling of being simultaneously more powerful and also more helpless than one ever was before. The feeling of ecstasy and wonder and awe, the loss of placement in time and space with finally, the conviction that something extremely important and valuable had happened. So that subject was to some extent transformed and strengthened even in his daily life by such experiences. Number 2. Individual self are people that accept themselves and others as they are. They tend to lack inhibition and able to enjoy themselves and their lives free of guilt. Not only do self-actualized people fully accept themselves, they also embrace other people for who they are. Other individuals are treated the same regardless of background, current status, or other socio-economic and cultural factors. Number 3. Another major characteristic self-actualized people is a sense of realism, rather than being fearful of things that are different or unknown. The self-actualized individual is able to view life as an unfolds both logically and rationally. Number 4. Self-actualized individuals are often motivated by a strong sense of personal ethics and responsibility. They enjoy applying their problem-solving skills to real-world situations and they like helping other people improve their own lives. Number 5. Self-actualized people also tend to be very independent. They don't conform to other people's ideas of happiness or contentment. This original perspective allows the individual to live in moment and appreciate the beauty of each experience. Number 6. Self-actualized individuals value their privacy and enjoy solitude, while they also solve the company of others. Taking time to themselves is essentially for their personal discovery and cultivating their individual potential. Number 7. Self-actualized individuals generally have thoughtful sense of humor. They're able to enjoy the humor in situation and laugh at themselves, but they don't ridicule or joke at the expense of another person's feelings. Number 8. Another characteristic of self-actualized people is tendency to be open, unconventional, and spontaneous. While these people are able to follow generally accepted social expectations, they don't feel confined by these norms in their thoughts or behaviors. Number 9. While self-actualized people have concrete goals, they don't see things as simply a means to an end. The journey toward achieving a goal is just as important and enjoyable as actually accomplishing the goal.
Sociological perspective of ourselves. The self is relatively stable of perceptions of who we are in relations to ourselves, others, and society. So it means that we people have always the perceptions of knowing ourselves and what is the relations between the outer and inner selves. And to others and social society, we should know what are the relationship between the two people. Like example, we should know if we have the relationship of that particular person, if we are a friends, families, neighbor, or a girlfriend or boyfriend. So in the stage of knowing ourselves, we must first know ourselves before others. Self-awareness. It is an individual to develop a complex sense of self and construct personal identity. It means that the individual choice, the traditional role, lost their hold, which requires individual to define themselves in a way the society had always done for them. The society telling us what to do, how will you be in front of this society. Our society is continuously growing and change everything. According to Mayhem, modernization is destruction of life. Why? Because technology and advancement of life is the destruction of who we are. It destructs the meaning of ourselves. In short, it delocalize our life. Next is modernization the self. And third is the modern society questions what to do, what to be, and how to act. What we're going to do, because in modernization in our society, there are lots of opportunities to choose, and what we do not know on what we're going to do first. And also who to act. What should, for example, is what should I do to act as a person who is desirable for the other people or enough of my age. Next is the self is necessary fiction. Society have influenced our experience and behavior. Sometimes we view our life to do the character and movies and anime. Because society influence our experience and behavior. Next is the necessary fiction. The belief that cannot be proven to be but true, necessarily to sustain life. Some people need some sense of certain in a world of constant change.
What is collective self-esteem? Collective self-esteem is a concept originating in the field of psychology that describes the aspect of an individual's self-image that stems from how the individual interacts with others and the groups that the individual is part of. The idea originated during the research of Jennifer Crocker, during which she was trying to learn about the connection between a people's self-esteem and their attitude towards or about the group that the person is part of. Collective self-esteem is talked about subjectively as a concept as well as measured objectively with various scales and assessments. The data from such research is used practically to give importance and weight to the idea that most individuals benefit from being in a group setting for at least some time, as well as being able to identify with being a part of a group. Jennifer Crocker and Raya Lutanen were the first to study collective self-esteem. They believed that there was a relationship between people's self-esteem and how they felt about groups they were part of. Crocker hypothesized that people who were in the high trait of collective self-esteem would be more likely to react to threats of collective self-esteem by derogating out groups and enhancing the in-group. The idea of collective self-esteem rose out of social identity theory. Social identity theory focused on an individual's personal beliefs about themselves and beliefs that stemmed from the groups they were part of. Collective self-esteem described a more group-oriented idea of self-esteem. It focused more on how groups, when they are threatened or perceived to be threatened, will increase bias in favor of the in-group and increase prejudice toward the out-group. Crocker published a paper titled Collective Self-Esteem in and In-Group Bias. It was published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology.